Hello guys, right, this is about the weekly pivots. This is an unusual pair for me. I'm only looking at it because I came across a chart for someone else's chart, and I wanted to see whether it had done what he said it would, and it did. I think he suggested it was a long trade about here, and target was the long trade was about here, target was this sort of support area here, so he's a good bit of analysis, but the point I want to make in this is how the pivots seem to be respected. Now, I've forgotten how to calculate. I could look it up online and calculate them manually, but I'm going to suggest that these are probably correct. The only reason I'm querying it is because I have no idea whether they were calculated to work out weekend values or not, because of the fact that when this was created, this FXI pivot indicator, they probably didn't have anything like weekly trading going on, but it's uncanny how the price is using them. But before I forget, look at this fantastic trigger here. We had overbought on the H4 chart we're looking at here, and then this, what I tell you to look for, this thing that we see all the time now, a big move to the downside. The discrepancy between the green and the red bar I'm talking about. We've got a 3-candle reversal on that H4. We are at resistance here as well, and lo and behold, we have this massive move on this particular pair. It's done in it. It's not like the 5-digit moves here, so I think this is probably 141 pips. So we can see your daily ranges was exceeded as well, so it seems to work. These things seem to work in exactly the same way as FX currencies and the CFDs and indexes and everything. So what's going to be interesting now is when this closes, because it's a massive H4 candle into resistance and this support created by that resistance, no doubt, whether we get a bounce off of this. I've often traded large H4 candle bounces, so it'd be nice to see if we get an M1 quality M1 trend reversal using all the indicators as we normally do, 3-candle reversals and so on and so forth. So if I was going to trade this up, I'd want an M5 3-candle reversal up, and then hopefully get the RSI on the M1 to actually get us into a trade. But it might just collapse, but bounces at H4 are often there, so we'll see whether that happens in a moment. But anyway, back to the NEO. Looking at this weekly pivot is quite fascinating actually. It's tested it there, pulled back, come back. Obviously it's affected price there, it's affected price up here on the R1, it's affected price there, not as precise as perhaps we would like to see. But if you go back through the charts, we can see definite respecting the pivot there, broke through it, came back, tested for hours, days in fact, broke through it, closed through it should I say, didn't come back and test it, but there's so many instances of this being affecting price, like here as well. Oh, that was the one I just spotted, sorry, I do apologise, the scroll wasn't working. Bounce off of it here, bouncing, broke through it, tested it again, I'm talking about these wicks here now, came back and tested it again there, the R2, lots of activity around the R1 there, more activity on the weekly pivot there, the R2, obviously affecting price. So I think there's a lot to be learned from these weekly pivots. It's just the FXI pivots indicator that you can find if you Google it, if you search for it on Forex Factory, it's free, and just set it to the weekly settings. So yeah, I mean everywhere you look there's activity around these pivots, so I think it's a worthwhile study for you, and worth having on the charts as well. So and the way we can trade them is once we get to a pivot, and if it looks like it's failing, then we just either use the RSI or the 3-candle reversals on the lower time frames, and that just gives you an extra area for targeting price and for trading away from as well. So massive move from the weekly pivot right down to the S1. I mean, these moves are absolutely massive. 138 pips. So just a little bit of food for thought, guys. FXI pivots, let's put it up for you. Settings, just change the daily true to not daily to true rather, or weekly false, or whatever it is, false to true anyway, and then specify your number of weeks you want, and you're good to go. So thanks for watching, have a good day. It looks like that's that 4 hours changed and it's still looking like it's collapsing. Wonder what the H1 is telling us. Nothing particularly. This is what I do with the RSI. So in order to get a feel for it, if the 30 had done a what I call the break and close, bust, pull back, break and close, then that would be a really strong signal to a continuation to the downside. And always just keep flicking between your time frames if you're using this to double check what you're doing. So when you had an M30, always check that the M15 and the M5s agree and don't pull back on you, and if they do pull back, then wait for it to come back in alignment, like this situation here where we've got the bust down, pull back, break and close below that level there, and just check the higher time frames are in agreement. So learn to trade it like a computer game. That's what I say about the RSI Histo. It is a superb bit of kit. Thanks for watching, have a good day.